All right, welcome back. We are now on the lounge. And remember when I was telling you that sometimes, or most of the times in the country, we see organizations coming in, and most of the time we find that it's probably taking advantage of the young people, promising them job opportunities, but instead that is not happening. So we have a different case, or we have a different experience right here, where we want to experience something that is new, where business is not is not met with competition, rather with the desire to change the future, with the desire to have the young people. It's like teaching a man how to fish, but not giving a man fish. So that is what we are having this morning. And we are joined by Top Talent Agency CEO, Isabel. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. I believe it's not the first time to be in Kenya, so you're very, so more or less conversant with the climate and everything in between.
Yes, this is my sixth time returning to Kenya, through Nairobi, Kisii, Masabara, looking to see other destinations here as well. But Kenya ni nyumba yangu ya pili.
All right, karibu sana.
Asante.
Now, let's get directly into this, because most of the time when we're having non-governmental organizations or just private entities coming in the country, we get that at times they tend to overpromise or give promises to the young people that, we are going to change your lives and all that. So what is Top Talent doing that is different from what we are used to, where there's so much promises, but if you look at it keenly, it's most of the time it's something that cannot be delivered.
Yes.
So what is Top Talent Agency doing differently?
So what we are doing differently is that we are coming in person. There's no middle individual. So we are connecting directly with the students, with the faculty, with the community leaders. You're talking directly to me. So I left my family. I've trained my team very, very well, so I can leave them for the time that I'm here. So that way I'm connecting directly with them. You're not talking to my assistant. You're talking to me, the owner of Top Talent Agency. And this is the 10th anniversary of the Kenya Keynote Tour that my business partner, David Fagan, has begun. And I've been a proud partner since 2021. And I'm going to continue to do so to continue that legacy, going to these schools, communities, outreach programs, because what we have seen ever since 2015, the very first time coming out here, is that there is so much growth and prosperity and opportunity here that a lot of organizations aren't really tapping into. They're more coming in with supplies, which is still very helpful. It still can go a long way. But if you're not getting to the root of a problem, it's not going to solve anything long term. You're just putting a Band-Aid on a bleeding wound.
All right. So when did you realize that success without purpose, or having to get to the young people, the community, without having that specific purpose of looking at the future? So if I am to help this person in 10, 15 years, how will this person bring back to the community? When did you realize the significance of that, and how effective has it been so far?
It's been effective in the fact that once we're able to really understand what someone is trying to accomplish and do. For example, yesterday we spoke at Moy Girls School, so a very prominent, very well-known community and school. And then taking my people out over to the slums and working with the prophet and really connecting with the community there. We're connecting with individuals that are hungry to continue to make an impact. So they've already started the initiative. They've already started and are attacking the problem, so that way they can have long-term solutions. What we're just doing is coming in and finding different ways that we're able to continue in assisting. So we're not coming in and, being white, just to point out the elephant in the room, but we're coming in because we have certain resources. The people that we have been bringing out here, donating millions of dollars in technology, insight, advice, books, to continue that prosperity, because those that are already doing the work just need a little bit of help. And we've seen how someone can take, a single grain of rice and turn it into a massive feast. And so that's what we're just continuing to do. So we've been doing this since 2015, and we're going to continue that legacy onwards.
All right, 10 years. And you've mentioned something interesting, that not just being white. Most of the time in our communities, in an African setup or maybe in a Kenyan setup, you'll find that when someone with color comes in, let's say for this matter, a white person or someone from, a developed country they perceive this person to be someone who is going to take them away from their problems, or someone who is going to, solve all their troubles. How do you get them from this mindset that, I am coming here to get you out of your problems, but then instill this mindset that I'm coming here to help you help yourself? How do you get to that?
So how we're doing that is when we're going into these schools, we're sharing our personal stories. And the first step in doing that is really connecting with the audience. So when you're seeing someone of a different color, because that's not something that can easily be walked away, especially when we look at the history textbooks. But when we're coming in and we're really connecting with them, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a business owner. I'm someone who took my own view of education, my own route, and became a very successful business owner. And now I'm passing on the torch. I'm sharing what resources that I've accumulated, but I'm only one individual. Bill Gates can't come into Africa and solve all the problems, and he's Bill Gates. But what we are doing is sharing the mindset shift. So all the individuals that we've been bringing out here, and especially on this trip, we're sharing them the different perspectives and the different ways that they can look at their life and what it is that they're trying to do to reconnect with their own individual purpose. We're talking to community leaders, but also to the individual, because when you're able to spark someone's life, when you're able to really see that fire come back within them, that's when you are really starting to see the shift and change.
All right, that's impressive. And let's talk about partnerships. Most of the time, you get that when you're going to these partnerships also with organizations that are supposed to be coming on board, probably universities, high schools, communities at the grassroots level, you'll find that you may have leaders, and I'm glad that you come to this personally so that there are no middlemen in between.
Yes.
So how do you get to decide that, this community is ready for this or is fit to have this program as part of them? How do you gauge that this partnership is going to be a fruitful partnership?
So one of the first things that we look at, and this is something that we're trying to not test people on, but when we're coming in initially, we're just coming with a lot of trust. We're bringing everything that we can, all of our love, support, resources that we're able to share. And then when we return, seeing what the fruits of that labor have turned into. If not much has been done, okay, we'll try to find another solution. But for those that have taken it and been prosperous with it, okay, let's pour a little bit more and see what more that can turn into. One of the partnerships that we're very proud to be doing as well is working with Kenyatta University for the Kenya Employment Initiative, where what we're doing is working directly with the university to find the star graduates or those that are about to graduate, what they are best skill set is, and how we're able to not only give them employment opportunities, but also work with other American business owners virtually, remotely, while they're still here at home. So they don't have to travel anywhere. They don't have to worry about leaving their homes and their families. And primarily what we are looking at right now, just for what we're doing at Top Talent Agency, outside of what we're doing for Kenya, what I do for my company is I do publishing, publicity, and production. So we do a lot of editing, graphic design, video editing, and we're working directly with these graduates to give them a little bit more education, additional training to get them up to speed to what our level of needs are. And then if anyone in our community is seeing what we're doing, great. This is someone that is from Kenya. This is someone who's working remotely. Would you like to work with them?
Sure.
But that's the conversation, and that's how we're continuing onwards from that. So the Kenya Employment Initiative is new. It's been going on for over 6 months now, and we're very prosperous with it. And we're continuing to do more interviews and do more conversations. But that's just one of the ways that not only are we pouring resources into Kenya, but now we're seeing that bridge go two ways.
All right. Now, with the partnerships, in terms of creating opportunities for the young people in the country, is there a point where through the partnerships that you've had with any country that you felt like, okay, this one is not the right partnership that we are supposed to be doing, and maybe felt like we need to withdraw from this, it's no longer serving the purpose?
Yeah. In any relationship, there's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times, and sometimes you'll need to break up a little bit. But we never firmly close that door. Just because someone isn't ready right now, just because a partnership isn't good right now, doesn't mean that that won't change with some time. Give it a year, give it 2 years. Sometimes it can only be a few months for someone to really see, oh, this is what we were trying to accomplish. Now we understand. Now we can be on the same page of the same book.
All right. Now, there are situations where you find that probably an organization or a company sells a different image to the public of positivity, but in real sense, what is happening is probably they are going through losses, or they're struggling. Employees are working under not good conditions. Let me not say bad conditions, not good conditions. So how do you deal with this, especially now that you're trying to, help people, but then there's the aspect of business in it where this is supposed to sustain itself. So how do you balance your books?
So the way we balance it is that not only are we training the individuals that we're working with, but again, continuing the conversation with all of the leaders, the people that are in positions of power that are helping delegate, so that because they know their team far better than I do. So by continuing that conversation and having honest conversations, like I said, not every relationship is going to be great, but the best way to make sure that it's always prosperous, regardless of the outcome, is honest communication. So once we're able to truly establish that and understand that we're not walking away, we're not throwing up our hands like, oh, okay, I guess I have to go home now, but truly understanding that we're just here to help. If I don't understand what's going on at home, if I don't understand what's going on in the background or the challenges that you're personally trying to accomplish so we can achieve this same goal together, I can't fully help you. I'm just pouring resources into something that isn't going anywhere. It's like the car, when the wheels fall off, by putting gasoline in it, it's not going to help anything. By truly understanding the problem, then we can work together.
Are there points in your journey through the 10 years, I mean, apart from your personal work, but with the organization, are there points where you received probably resistance from a community or from a government? Are there points where you felt like, okay, I'm just trying to do good. Why are you this hard on me?
Yeah. A lot of times it happens. It's not uncommon. It can happen to anybody at any level where you're going to meet resistance. And the biggest factor that you have to really tap into is that most of the time it's an ego thing. When you are accomplishing something that someone has envisioned their whole life, but they haven't truly been able to tap into, or a company like us is able to just come in and say, we have the solution that you've been working so hard to accomplish, you'll meet some resistance. That's not uncommon. That's going to happen in any business that you do. That's going to come into any conversation, any new dynamic that you're going to be entering into. The biggest thing that you can do when you're coming into a situation like that is to not let your own ego come in the way of that. Continuing the conversation, the dialogue, trying to understand where they're coming from so you can tackle that challenge together. And if that still doesn't come to a solution, then sometimes you just have to walk away.
When do you know when do you know the difference between, this is something that most young people struggle with, especially knowing the difference between I'm wasting time and I need to be more patient?
When I start losing sleep, if I start feeling like I'm not doing enough, and no matter how much time, no matter how many hours, no matter how many conversations I have, and we're still coming to the same problem, and I start to lose sleep over it, my business is starting to be affected by it, the things that I'm doing to generate income for my company so I can continue to do things here in Kenya, I just have to walk away. And either they'll realize that I'm not the enemy, that we're not the enemy, or we'll continue the silence. But what we will never stop doing is continue to come to Kenya and see what we can do to help the next generation. We were just at the slums yesterday, and a lot of our people were deeply affected by that. We fed 1,500 children. One of them was a 5-year-old carrying their 1-year-old sibling on their back. Someone said we were feeding babies with broken bowls. These are things we're never going to stop doing. These are things that we're never going to stop caring about. So just because we're going to meet a little bit of resistance, even a lot of resistance, we're still going to come and do what we can, not because we want to be seen as anything other than just people trying to help globally. We can try to do these things back home in America. We have our own poor, we have our own needy, but the opportunities here are far more greater. One individual can't do very much. They can help a community for a short time, But we continue to come back to Kenya with newer groups, fresh eyes, people with other resources that I'm not even able to provide, because there are different needs and for every problem there is a unique solution. So just because I'm not that go-to person doesn't mean I don't know someone who can.
All right. Now, you've mentioned something critical, and I love that you actually talked to me directly, where you say that if you start losing sleep, then probably it's time to give up with that. Mm. Now, in Kenya or Africa, most countries were affected when the United US aid was pulled out. Now, you've been in this for 10 years through different regimes. After that happened, the pullout of USAID, has anything shifted in terms of the charity or the work that you do in Africa?
What one organization is doing or not doing is not affecting our input and outcome. Just because someone else is walking away from a problem doesn't mean we are. We're continuing to connect with leaders to find different areas where we're able to make the biggest impact. So what we're doing isn't going to be halted just because one other person or one other organization isn't able to continue to fulfill in their promise.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at a future where probably the young people are going to shift conversations of their own country, trying to bring solutions. We normally say here on the show that in as much as we're always complaining, in Kenya, most people, you'll hear someone say, serikali saidia, like government help us. So in as much as we say that often, government help us, we always push for how do we help ourselves. And the young people are really moving towards changing that narrative of asking themselves, what can I do for the government? The government is doing this for me, but then what can I do for the government? And you're empowering young people. Do you think that there is pressure on them for them to be independent or find solutions that probably governments may not be able to find for them?
Governments have organizations, they have different levels that they are trying to, or different groups and committees to try to work on a solution for every problem. But they are also only human. They also have to go to sleep, they have to eat, they have their own families, they have their own personal problems. So they do the absolute best that they can. But yes, at the end of the day, if you are not able to fully help yourself, then it's going to be a perpetuating cycle. So when we're talking to the youth, when we're talking to these communities and at the colleges, we're sharing the resources of what we're able to, because a lot of times what the youth don't know what they can do, they don't know what opportunities are out there for them. So if they want to start their own business, if they want to go back to school, one school of thought is, or one common thought is, well, I failed at this, I guess I might as well just go home. No, you fail when you quit. Every failure is just a lesson in, okay, that didn't work. Now what? There was an exercise someone did yesterday where they had everyone raise their hand. It's like, now raise it a little bit higher. Now raise it a little bit higher. And then some people were brought out. It's like no, raise your hand as high as you can. So people were now standing up. People were standing on chairs. They were jumping. So it's like, so I kept challenging you to go a little bit higher. Why didn't you do that the first time? When you are able to rise up to a challenge and go beyond, then you'll start to see life a little bit differently. It's okay to ask for help, whether it's from your own community, from a teacher, from a mentor. Everyone needs help. I needed help. Not to age myself, but I'm 30 years old. I didn't get here on my own. I came here because someone said, let's work on this problem together. I had my own problem, someone helped me. So we're just continuing that cycle of someone needs help, let's find a solution for them. But it has to start with you first, of realizing I need help in this specific aspect. I can't do it on my own.
All right, that is I almost got sentimental. But then, now you have worked with the young people through all these years. What do you think is the biggest problem, whether consciously or unconsciously, that the young people have or bring to themselves that is making them not push their limits or get to where they're supposed to be?
A lot of times when you don't know what opportunities are awaiting you, you don't know what heights you can reach. putting it on myself to really reiterate the point is that growing up, my mother always told me, the world is your oyster. You can do anything you want to be. And in the mindset of, I was about 10 years old when she told me this, like in the mind of a 10-year-old, it's like, okay, what can I do? No one said, you can be a teacher. You can be a lawyer. You can. I had to discover that on my own. And through that, that's where I started to really cultivate my own education. So when we come out here, we have all these different business owners and entrepreneurs, whether they're parents, they're single, they've been married for many years, they've been divorced 10 times, to show them that there are different ways and different chapters of their life. But the biggest facet, the biggest lesson is that just because something failed doesn't mean that they aren't going to be successful in the next attempt. It's only when you quit that then you've truly failed, not only your dream and your purpose, but you failed yourself a little bit. But it's never, ever too late. Even when you get to that point, it's never too late to start the next chapter.
All right. Now, where do you see Top Talent Agency with the various partnerships in different countries in the next, let's say, in the next 10 years? Let's bring it closer, 5 years.
And in 5 years, we're going to continue to keep doing what we're doing here in Kenya and expanding further throughout the country, because there are still so many opportunities and so many different communities that oftentimes aren't even on the map, where they have their needs, they have their goals, the dreams that they're trying to accomplish, because at the end of the day, we're all human. But if we don't reach our highest full potential, then that is where we're failing our communities. So I'm American, I'm from the United States, but I am a global citizen. I have been in many countries on the world, all over the world, and I've been very blessed in that opportunity. But it's because of the work that I'm doing, not only at home, but because of my endless pursuit to help the next generation. Because at the end of the day, I'll be lucky I have another 70 years on this earth. I'll be very fortunate, but my hourglass will run out. It's what resources I can do to help the next generation that will really make the biggest impact.
On the 6th visit in Kenya, now that you are in the country, what are we expecting, or what is your plan like? What is it that you're going to be doing for this period that you're in the country?
Continuing doing more of what we've done in the past, and which is just continuing to talk to the youth, inspire those minds, spark those fires. It can be really, really hard for anyone at any age, but especially in the youth, for the girl child and the boy child, and when they're going to the colleges and universities, if they don't fully know what they're fully capable of. And instilling that feeling in their hearts that everyone that they're going to be hearing from, that I brought with me here on this tour, that they all have different challenges that they've overcome, and that for them, it's never too late to discover something new about themselves, whether they want to go into a business for themselves, they want to work for a specific company, they want to travel, they want to work internationally. Inspiring that spark, because that's something that can never, ever be taken away.
All right. Now, if I wanted to be part of Top Talent Agency as a partner, as someone who wants to be mentored in all angles, how do I get to be part of Top Talent Agency?
So one way to do that is we have kenya.toptagency.com. That is our official website for what we're doing here in Kenya. So anyone can see the people that have come in the past and those that are here with us now. And when you're hearing us speak on stage, even if there's only one of us that you really connect with, reach out to them, whether it's through social media, sending them an email. Let us know what it is you're trying to accomplish. Even yesterday, someone came to us and she works with youth through trauma. That's not something that my company does, but someone here on my tour with me works directly with the Newcom Technology, which is Jim Poole, who's been someone that has actually spoken here at KUTV before in the past, and he works directly through trauma. So again, just because I'm not the go-to person doesn't mean I don't have someone who is. So the very first step that I invite anybody to do, regardless of age or where they're at in their life, is just ask. You never know what the outcome will be.
All All right, that's powerful. Just ask. It's a hard thing. It's easier said than done. Just asking,
Yes.
because there's that fear of rejection. Everyone fears rejection.
Everyone fears rejection, but at the end of the day, what is it that you're trying to accomplish for yourself? If your dream is within reach of one person, why let that fear stop you? Fear is the only buffer. But when you are fully tapped into your purpose, when you believe in the God-given gift that was instilled in you at birth, why let one emotion keep you from doing that?
All right. Thank you so much, Isabel, for making time for us this morning.
Absolutely.
Just before we part with our viewers, I would like for you to give advice to, if you were to do this again, what would you not do? And this will also serve as an advice to the young person out there who is probably not decided on whether to venture in the business they dream of, whether it's local or international or whatever they're thinking of. So as a person, what would you not do if you're, let's say, 20 years right now? Knowing what you've gone through, your experiences, having your knowledge, what would you not do if you're young again?
If I was young again, the thing I wouldn't do is assume I can do it all. I can't. I have the same hours as anybody else in the day. But just because I think, no, it'll be faster if I just do it myself. No, it'll be faster if I try to design this myself. I can't. Oftentimes you have to realize where you're limited at in your own skill set. And it's not a weakness. That's where your strength is. Because then when you're starting to build a team around you, your community around you that has that skill set that you just don't have, it makes you both stronger. And that's how you can reach that higher level. That's how you can reach the next level. And so that is what has been allowing Top Talent Agency to reach the level it has, so we continue to do things here in Kenya, not only here, but all over the world. So don't try to do it all yourself. It's okay. You don't have to. You can be human. You can rest every now and then. Drink some water. It's okay.
All right. That's powerful. What a powerful end what a powerful way to end it. And this was specifically to the young people who intend to have businesses or who are having businesses, and you want to be the manager, you want to be the salesperson, you want to be the content creator. So Isabel is telling us this morning that it's okay, kunywa maji. It's not that you have to do everything on your own. Build a team around you to build a successful business. Now, that is Isabel, CEO, Top Talent Agency, who has been talking to us about the importance of partnerships and how effective this has been in Kenyan communities and in different nations across the world. Also giving us advice on what we should be doing as young people to better ourselves as better entrepreneurs or good entrepreneurs.